I will just run down through the list of focus areas in my manifesto. I do have a manifesto that is a 17-point manifesto. Those of you who've been listening to me already know that the 5 first points in that manifesto have to do with national agenda issues. Those issues will include addressing historical injustices and bloodshed. They will include the secularization or stopping the secularization of our society as believers and as Africans. Thirdly, addressing the divisions, malicious divisions, primarily tribalism and negative tribal activities that serve to divide this nation. Then we need to address we cannot address poverty if we still have Kenya's #1 enemy, which is corruption. So we need to address corruption. You might be wondering as a senator why I'm speaking like this. These 5 issues are indeed national in nature. For example, if you just take corruption, I have said before that corruption is a cancer. You cannot deal with it as an individual county. It will become malignant. It will spring up in another form, and you will never win. We need a comprehensive, specific, time-bound strategy to deal with that. And in the next few videos that you may see me, you will hear me offer exactly that kind of strategy. Now, other than the 5 national agenda issues that I hope to deal with as your senator, God willing, after August 9th, I have 12 other focus areas that will take up a lot of my interest as a senator, bearing in mind that the senator has no budget and that most of the activities that concern our day-to-day existence are issues that are under the mandate either of ministries of national government or of the county government of Nairobi. Nonetheless, as a senator, I have I have folded up the sleeves of my shirt, and I am ready to work smartly with stakeholders, not just in national government or in the local government, but with private stakeholders, with NGOs, with churches and other faith organizations, and with any person out there with whom we can partner to bring real life solutions to the residents of Nairobi. I will just run down this list quickly. There is one specific one that I would want to dwell a bit more on, and that's the number 12th one, which is my oversight duties as a senator, the duty given to me under the Constitution of Kenya. But as for the focus areas, I will be very concerned and interested, and not just concerned and interested. If you go to the written manifesto, you will find that I have detailed suggestions as to the specific measures I hope to agree and to partner with the county government and the national government to execute right here in Nairobi. The focus areas themselves will include a provision of sufficient economic opportunities for employment, for business. You realize we have a burgeoning population which is very young, which is educated, and they need jobs, they need a place to earn a living in their lives. I will also be focusing on the standardization of our public education. We have free primary education. We have, to an extent, universal secondary education. But now we need to standardize the education so that a child in a government school in Mukuru kwa Jenga is getting an equivalent or near to equivalent education as that child who is getting an education in Westlands Primary School, for example. I'll also be focusing chiefly again on the medical services, provision of medical services, not just universally, but at a standard that we can say we are comfortable with as Nairobians, that we do not have to go abroad, that drugs are available, that the equipment is available, that the medical staff are not only available but are well taken care of. So that will be a chief area that I'll be looking at. I'll be looking at traffic management. Yeah, I thank the leaders that we have right now, beginning with our president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. We now have the expressway. We have several bypasses going around the CBD and the main city area. Nonetheless, we have a lot of traffic jams and snarl-ups on the local roads. I just take, for example, Jogoo Road. Yeah, the bus stop at City Stadium, for example. Yeah, there's a problem there, and we need to sort that out. The bus stop, Kenyatta Hospital, the bus stop there also, and we can cite many other bus stops where there is traffic snarl-ups, largely because those who need to travel to use matatus are many. The matatus themselves, the services, are also many vehicles, and the road is small. Matatus are essential to our transportation system within the city. We need to facilitate their business, possibly expand the bus stop area so that they can all fit in the bus stop and not clog the road. And we'll be looking at that together with the elected governor to see how best we can resolve that issue. I will also be interested in what I am calling basic services. Basic services will include water. They will include the management of sewerage and waste. We don't want sewerage spills all over where people are living. These contribute to sickness. It is below the expected standard for a leading city on the earth. We need to deal with the provision of adequate electricity. We have industries and factories and businesses that are running. We need to provide low cost and continually available, a good service that we don't have blackouts all the time. So that will be another interest area of mine. I'll be concentrating also on the vulnerable families. When I talk the vulnerable population, that will include the elderly, the destitute elderly, orphans. It will include people living with disabilities. It will include refugees who are sleeping under bridges in different locations in the city. Yeah, this is unacceptable. We need to take care of them. It's our responsibility as a regional leader and as a continental leader and as human beings, human to another human being. Why should I be comfortable in a bed in my house with excess blankets and somebody is sleeping on the roadside, not because of any wrong they did, because of possibly issues that happened in their country. So that will be an important and significant area of my candidature. Yeah. Another area that I'll be looking at is the security situation in our city and in our county. Yeah, we want this city to have a 24-hour economy. For that to happen, we need to guarantee to the largest extent the security of our residents and business people. Yeah, part of that security will also deal with the need for an improved domestic violence reporting system. I am informed that the police have set up an online system during the election period. I will be hoping that we can work with them and the county government to provide it as a continuous service to the residents of this nation. We need to look at the provision of security services by the various private companies. Remember, they are the front line against terrorism. They are the people who are on ground in the event, and this is from history, in the peradventure, we have terrorist attacks. So we need to standardize. We need to have clear training SOPs and other issues to look within the operations to ensure we have a safe living and working environment. I also be concerned with emergency response. Yeah, we especially with fire and other emergencies that may be foreseen, that we are able to respond in time and adequately and in a coordinated fashion. So that will be an interest area. I am highly concerned with the issue of grabbing of public land. Yeah, and I have an innovative suggestion along that. Kindly check the written manifesto. It will be an area of interest in my service to you if you will elect me. I am also concerned with the Nairobi National Park, that to see what measures we can put in place to ensure there is no encroachment, to ensure that we can have a more healthy wildlife population, to ensure that we can get out of that park maximum value in terms of visitations, both from local and from international tourism. You realize Nairobi is the only city where there is a national park in the city. So this is something that we need to take advantage of, even as we talk of economic opportunities, employment and business. This is an area we can exploit, and I'll be keen to work with KWS and with every other the residents around there and every other concerned party to ensure that we can maximize on this God's blessing in our nation. I will also be concerned with the inadequacy of low-cost, good housing for the residents of Nairobi. And hopefully, even if the Nairobi Metropolitan Service is winding down its operation, I would like to extend the cordial working relationship with the other counties that are around Nairobi County, to explore ways and means in which we can develop, and cooperate the private developers to put in a system where we have adequate low-cost housing, and so that we do not have people living in housing that is below human standards. Finally, number 12, I'll be very concerned with my oversight duties as a senator, and I have 7 specific things that I commit to if elected as your senator, Senator Wanguvu wa Nairobi. 7 specific things that I will undertake within the first 100 days of my being elected and sworn in to that position. Number 1, I commit to end campaigns and politicking for the sake of politicking. As Kenyans, we've been treated to a continuous season, 5-year season of politics. That will come to an end on August 9th, after we have done our voting, so that I can have time to concentrate on serving the electorate and population of Nairobi County. That is number 1. Number 2, that I commit within the first 100 days that I will have invited and convened a meeting of all elected leaders within the county of Nairobi, from governor and all the MCAs, the women rep, the MPs, all of us together, that we can sit down in the most cordial possible manner, not for the benefit of politics, but so that we can agree on the way forward for Nairobi. All of us are leaders here. Yes, the governor has a high responsibility within the county, and MPs and so on have specific responsibilities within their jurisdictions. For myself, the role of oversight, I want to agree, because each one of us has manifestos. I have just read you 12 focus areas that I'll be highly drawn to as your senator. Each elected leader has a manifesto. For us to now sit down and purport to be working for Nairobians, we need to come together and put all those manifestos together and agree on one specific manifesto for the county of Nairobi. That is an activity that I implore all of you politicians who are running in Nairobi, put it in your budget of things. When and God willing, if the voters elect you, that we should sit together and synergize all the manifestos, so that we have not confusion, but we have one clear agreed direction, one clear agreed agenda. That will be before the first 100 days are over. Number 3 thing that I will do before 100 days, I'll bring 3 motions to the Senate to be moved. Number 1 is what I am calling the 50-50 solidarity bill. What do I mean? The Kenya's national debt now stands together with a total of about 11.7 or so trillion shillings. This position as a country we have gotten to while we were being led by political leaders, even if not myself, but by people who were in the Senate, who were in the National Assembly, and who were in the county assemblies and government. Therefore, as elected leaders in the shoes of those who came before us, we need to stand in solidarity with the mwananchi. Mwananchi amefinywa. Yeah. Right now, unga has to be dropped to 100 shillings, and it's only for 28 days. Yeah. And the reason why that is, the unga was high, the petrol is high, is because we have a crazy national debt that needs to be paid. Yeah, before our national assets are taken over, before the airport is taken over, before the port is taken over, before other national assets are taken over, God knows what has been pledged by those who have gone before us. Yeah. So as politicians, I am not going or looking, vying for this seat because I think that it's a way of making money, of enriching myself. I am vying for this seat because it's a service to the Nairobi people and to Kenyans in general. In that respect, I'll be tabling that motion that we can reduce the salaries and allowances of all elected officials in the government of Kenya at local and national level by 50% of what they are right now. I was shocked the other day when I found out members of parliament earn a house allowance of 250,000 shillings, that they have a car grant and a car loan on top of that. Yeah, a car grant, I think 5 million, and then a car loan on top of that, 7 million. In an economy where people are missing meals because the food has become too expensive. In an economy where people can't pay bus fare, they are walking to work. As leaders, we need to stand in solidarity, and not just stand in solidarity. We need to go into the Senate, into the National Assembly, into the County Assembly, into our positions that we will be elected to, and make decisions that will lead this country out of the mess that it is in right now. So that will be my first bill. My second bill will be a bill to cause the National Assembly and the President, who have the prerogative, to declare corruption a national emergency. Yeah, it is sad that we are losing 2 billion plus a day of money in the kind of situations that we are in, that I've just described. In a kind of situation where a patient suffering from cancer has to wait a full year before they can receive any medical attention at Kenyatta. It is sad. So we are now at emergency status, and I'll be pushing that motion so that we can call it, we can brand it a national emergency, and we can get the assistance of many people who are of goodwill to this nation, including the many countries where the monies that have been stolen from Kenya are stashed, so that we can return it here and we can jumpstart our economy and we can turn around as a nation. I am not saying that we will throw away the constitution as some have suggested. No, we will work within the constitution, but we need to address this as a priority issue. So that will be my second motion. The third one, if I am elected, God willing, I would want to bring a motion to the Senate which will cause the African dress, popularly referred to as vitenge, or sometimes you will hear terms like Ankara, preferred for that kind of dress. I know this is a motion that previously was in the legislature and was defeated, but I want to return it. Number one, we need to be proud of our heritage. In Kiswahili, wanasema mkosa mila ni mtumwa. Number two, we have had talk of reviving the textile industry in Kenya. And my argument is, if somebody could stand up and tell us selling snake poison can pay for the expressway, why not then declare kitenge an official dress, not just in parliament, but also in all offices where uniforms are not required, so that we can support that textile industry, yeah, and at the same time be proud of who we are. Yeah, so that when somebody comes to Kenya, it's not like we are not trying to create another London in Kenya. We need to be a Nairobi, something that is different, something that tourists will want to come and see, that will be different than going to Paris or than going to any other capital in the West. Yeah, so we need to be proud of it, and that pride is, when we are proud as a nation, it will provoke our mind to work for the betterment of this country. So that will be my third motion, that within 100 days, 3 months and plus a few days, that I will be bringing before the Senate. Within 100 days, yeah, I will produce a fixed first-year schedule of the town hall type of meetings as a form of interaction with the Mwananchi, with the Nairobi resident. And I am proposing that I will have, as your elected senator, God willing, 2 town hall meetings that will be at the county level, one at the beginning of the year, and another one to review the activities of the year towards the end of the year. Those will be at the county level. Then I will have a similar number within the 17 constituencies of Nairobi. That will be a total of 34 meetings across the constituencies, and in the whole county 36 meetings that I, as the senator, and I will be inviting the governor, the MPs, the woman rep, the MCAs to those meetings and to other stakeholders, so that we can hear firsthand from the people who have the shoe on their foot, that is the Nairobi people, and not just hear, but answer to them, that we will be accountable. This is part of the oversight process that I am suggesting as a senator, that you will help me as the voter. Yeah, I will organize, I will marshal these people, I will invite them, I will cajole them, I will do what is required that they should be in those meetings. Within 100 days, I am going to set up a website for interaction. I have already reserved the domain name nairomita.com. nairomita.com. nairomita.com is a website that I am proposing will be up and running after August 9th. The purpose of this website will be to post in there every issue of governance and that is of concern also for the Nairobi County. This will include any motions that are being debated either in the Senate or in the County Assembly. It will include the proposed projects that we have as a county. It will include the Nairobi Manifesto or the Nairobi Strategy. It will include approved suppliers and contractors. It will include the timelines that specific contractors are given. Right now, if you ask you Nairobi residents, munajua zile contracts ziko? Munajua zitaisha lini? Munajua zitalipwa pesa ngapi? Ama ni nani anazifanya? All that kind of information will be on this website as part of oversight, so that everybody in Nairobi will know. Kama ni barabara fulani from point A to point B, itafanywa na siku ngapi, na italipwa pesa ngapi, na ni nani anafanya. If there is need of qualifications, blah, 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 we will put everything on the website. Yeah, whatever challenges will be there. It will also provide a platform for communication, for feedback. I hope as part of my 100-day agenda, I am going to install a constituency and ward champions in every ward, 85 of them, and in every constituency, 17 of them in the Great Nairobi County. These people will act as champions. But other than them, any Nairobi resident will be able to go into the website and find the person they need to address, whether it not just the elected leaders, but the police chief, the OCS in a certain area, the head of a medical, the person responsible for a certain education system, and all the other services, and address questions to them. And that if those questions are not answered, are not addressed, then that matter will escalate automatically, and it will be visible on the website to the next senior person, and so on and so forth, up to the point where it will get either to the governor or to myself for redress. So this way, you Nairobi residents will be able to participate in the governance and management of your county. So other than the nairometer.com, I'll have, as I've said, within 100 days, constituency and ward representatives. They will act, because not everybody will go to the website. They will act as my point people, that I can't be everywhere in the county. It's big enough for one person, and it's busy enough for one person. So they will act as my ears and my eyes on the ground, so that they could report, not to spy. It will be an open operation. They'll be able to report in case there are issues, in case there's a service that is happening in the bad way, in case there's a project that is stalled. They will be able to report, and I'll be able, therefore, to act promptly to find out what the challenge, what the problem is. They'll also be able to give feedback to anyone who, for whatever reason, is not able to use the website for that kind of activity. I will then also, within 100 days, I will meet with all the elected leaders. I want to agree with them, and I implore you who will be elected that kindly consider this, if indeed it is service to the mwananchi hapa Nairobi yenye unataka. Consider this and ask them whether they will commit to it, that we should have 2 annual reports. One, a performance report, a county performance report, of course published on the website, published on the various media channels, so that the county will know what our performance has been throughout a certain year. And we will do this for the 5 years. Then we also want to publish a perception report, which basically is the opinion of the Nairobi resident, the Nairobi business person, about the various aspects that touch upon their lives and their businesses. These 2 reports, again, will be as part of my oversight duties, so that we can be able to gauge ourselves as a county. Are we going backwards, or are we improving? And if we are improving, where is it that we need to improve the more? What suggestions are out there? These are the kind of ideas that I am thinking of. I have given you the 7 things that I will do as part of my oversight, over and above being very active, and as I've already mentioned to you, the three motions that within 100 days, I intend to keep that pace up throughout the 5 years if I am elected. Kindly consider me senator wenyu wa nguvu. Mnajua governor wa nguvu anahitaji senator wa nguvu, and I don't think wale wamesimama 8 of us kuna mwingine hata anakaribia hiyo. Kama kunaye hakuna. Kumbuka, kura kwa ras ni plus.